and it gets quiet, and people have even left after I've said this. I'm not saying it was an effect or to be naughty or anything else. I actually remember exiting my mother. Well, at least you didn't go run away like everybody else does.
Well, I don't remember anything like earlier than like 3 years old.
I do. I remember popping out. I do. I really do. Actually, I popped out so hard, I landed on my head on the floor.
Damn.
Yeah, it was crazy. And the doctor said, "Do you want me to put him in a gunny sack and go down to the river, or you want to chance this kid?" And fortunately, she said, "I'll chance him." She said, "Let me take that gunny sack home with me just in case."
So how old are you, Dave? Did you fight in World War II?
Oh, now, come on. Are you being serious? I don't believe that. I'm a Vietnam vet, 1965, and I was an aircraft radio repairman on the B-52s and the 135. Also, when the CW instructors were busy or on vacation, I taught CW. And then about 3 to 4 weeks out of the year, they flew me up to Adak, Alaska in the Aleutians, and I ran the Mars station, running phone patches for the troops in Vietnam to stateside on KL7 AIV with a bunch of Collins radio equipment.
That's pretty awesome. Well, thank you for serving me.
You are welcome. Thank you for telling me that. When we would go to the airport, it was so bad because people were protesting the war. They were blaming the service people. And most of the service people were drafted. I had a low draft number, so I joined the Air Force because I didn't want to go walk around in the right studies. I'm not going to lie about it. But anyway, I've actually had people spit on me. It got so bad that when we would go home on vacation or something, they told us explicitly, wear civilian clothing. Do not wear your uniform when you're on a commercial airliner anymore.
Well, luckily, I don't think it's like that anymore.
No, it's quite the opposite now. Because people do say when I have a Vietnam vet hat, and then I have an Air Force hat, and so many people do say thank you for the service when I'm walking around in the store. It's quite nice.
Well, that's good. Yeah, the whole hating the military thing is kind of over.
Yep, those little flower children back in the 60s, they were Vietnam War protesters and everything, but I had one come up, she was kind of a funny-looking gal, and she said, "Well, hi, sir," and I said, "Well, hi, how are you?" And she pinned a little flower, whatever group she was with, on my lapel, and she said, "Oh, I'm fine," and introduced me and told me what she was all about. And then she stood there, and I said, "Well, okay, thank you." And I was going to take off, and she says, "Well," and I said, "Well, I've got to get going. My plane is going to be taking off in a bit." And she says, "Well," and got really nasty, and I said, "Well, what?" And she said, "Aren't you going to donate?" And she had this little sack there or something. And I said, "Well, not particularly. I really don't know who you guys are." She grabbed that off and ripped it right through my, I had my uniform on, ripped it right off and ripped right through my lapel and went grumbling on her way.
Wow, that's kind of rude.
Yeah, I remember things like that. That's the way servicemen got treated.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up. Yeah, you tend to remember things that are like that. Negative things you tend to remember more than positive.
Well, they weren't all negative. There were a lot of nice people, too. Because, it wasn't a total everyday thing, but it happened enough that the military, they told us, hey, better not wear your uniform when you're going home or you're on the commercial airline. I got to catch free hops on the B-52s. I lived in Provo, Utah, and Hill Air Force Base was just about 30 miles north of Salt Lake. It was about 80 miles from my house. So I got to hop the B-52 when they were headed, when I had time off. The pilots liked me because I fixed their HF radio. And they dropped me off because they were flying to Hill, which is a big stack base, B-52 base at the time. And they still had B-52s up there. And I got a free ride from Barksdale Air Force Base in Louisiana to Salt Lake, and then my mother and dad had come up and get me. I can also chew gum and spit on people at the same time.
That's pretty fancy.
Yeah. Doug, where are you?
I'm right here.
Oh, there, are you?
No, I'm here.
Okay, what about Mikey? What happened to him?
Mikey's over there.
I don't know. Mikey, you over there? You mean I wasted those stories and Mikey wasn't even here?
He might be watching that person walking around outside.
Well, I don't blame him. You know, he's got to keep track of things like that. Hey, Matt, do you live in the neighborhood, or are you out in the county, or what?
We're in the county. Well, unincorporated Snohomish County.
Are you on an acreage or a few acres out there?
I'm on 3 acres.
Hey, well, that's quite a bit.
Yeah, we live just off of Paradise Lake Road, and I'll say it really is paradise.
Seriously, very nice up there, huh?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, that's up near, that's up north of me, I know that. Whereabouts, say, from Seattle is that?
Northeast of Seattle, about 45 minutes.
Now there is isn't there a forest up there they call the same by that same name? A mountain range up there.
I live in Maltby, which is just outside of Woodinville.
Just a real small area then up there. Incorporated or unincorporated?
It's unincorporated.
Okay. So how far, your closest neighbor, about an acre or two away?
Yeah, thereabouts. I mean, it's kind of skinny land, so it's more of like, you know, the neighbor's not too far away, but it's decently radio quiet out here.
Okay, wooded, a lot of Douglas fir type trees up there?
Oh yeah, 150 footers.
We have out here, yeah. What do you think of those 150 footers are 150 years old at least, maybe older than that?
Oh, I'm sure, yeah, they're pretty big.
Wow. Are you on a septic and you're on water there?
We're not on our own water. We have neighborhood water, but yeah, we're on our own septic.
But the neighborhood has water. Where do you get your water? And do they store it in a container that sits up above and feeds everybody?
No, we have a neighborhood well, and the well serves everybody, and that seems to be enough.
Enough to even do a little watering around there?
Oh, yeah.
Fancy?
I don't think so, not horribly.
Now, Doug's on a well up there, and your water's pretty expensive, isn't it, Doug?
Yeah, it's a community water system, and in the summertime, if I were to try to water my yard, it cost me $500 or $600 a month at least. So my yard doesn't get a lot of water.
It's kind of dry down there, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty dry. It is high desert, and we do get in the 90s and occasionally up into the 100s in the summertime, and we don't see a lot of rain, so it's pretty dry, but I just can't afford to water. I'm on an acre and a quarter, and I just can't water at all.
Well, that makes sense for the desert, really.
I grew up in Utah, basically the same way, although they had the big Rocky Mountains, the Wasatch range of the Rocky Mountains, and they were up 12,000, 13,000 feet all along there, and they, on normal years, they'd get a lot of snow, so we had a lot of water coming off the mountains, and they collected in big water tanks in the foothills and then feed the valley with that. On a wet year, we had all we needed, but, lately, they're not getting the snowpack. That's one reason the Colorado River is running out of water, because the Colorado and Utah, that are the primary sources of the Colorado River, a little bit of Montana and some from Canada, that's why it's running out, because those states are not getting the normal amounts anymore.
That's what I hear about California, too. I mean, California has been hurting for power, and yet they want to transfer everything to, we need electric vehicles. It's like, really? Because you don't have the electricity for it.
Yeah, the governor of California, was that Newsom or something? I can't remember. I think, who was that governor of California?
Yeah, Gavin Newsom.
Yeah. Well, he was trying to get everybody to do that, remember, like you said. And then when everybody started plugging into the grid was starting to brown out. So he gets back on and says, hey, I got to unplug everything.
Yeah, the rolling brownouts is kind of dumb.
Yeah, but he partially created that with everybody plugging their cars in. And they had a mandate, I don't know if they still do, where everything had to be electric by a certain date, like 4 or 5 years from now. I think they found out they weren't going to be able to do that.
Yeah, they want to do that here, too.
2030 here in Washington?
Not a good idea.
Eliminate the internal combustion engine to be sold, and you have to, anything after that is going to have to be electric.
Yeah,
They can't even be a hybrid. They're going to have to be 100% electric.
Point. You get down to like 20 or 30 degrees, the batteries completely fail, and like your car ain't going nowhere.
That just 30 degrees and they start screwing up? Wow, that'd be great up in Alaska, wouldn't it? Well, 30 degrees, even this climate's not considered really extreme, but we do get there occasionally. So your car's not going to run very well when that happens, or it won't run at all, huh?
Well, it's going to affect the performance of the battery.
Oh, that's real cool.
Yeah, that's why it's not a viable option.
7 to 9 years, if they only last 4 or 5, and the battery costs $14,000, and you can't recycle the battery. There's no use for the lithium-ion battery after it's done, except for making a bomb out of it.
Exactly true, because I have lithium ions in my RC airplanes and cars and boats and things. And they're dangerous. If you charge those, you have to charge those in a special, like in bricks or in a safe area, and not leave them unattended, because those things can start on fire.
Those are LiPos, though, not those are lithium polymer batteries.
Oh, what were you talking about?
Lithium ion.
Oh, they are different than a polymer then, huh? I didn't know that. There is a big difference between the two?
Yeah, lithium polymers are a lot more volatile.
Oh, okay. I guess I wasn't aware. I just thought lithium, but there is a difference. I knew there were two different types, but I didn't know that their characteristics were that much different.
Yeah, my brother does a lot of RC stuff, and he uses two cell packs, but they're 10p, so they've got like 20 cells in them, and when they explode, they really freaking explode.
Well, I can attest to that. I was flying a homemade Brew airplane, and I don't know what happened, but the batteries exploded. It was an 8-cell, so it was a big battery. It was a big one. It was probably 10 inches long and about 4 or 5 inches, 3 inches around. Big battery in that big airplane. And all of a sudden, the battery quit, and we had no control of the airplane. And it was so quick it crashed. And I saw it right where it crashed. And I went over there, and I couldn't find anything. And I looked out, and there was a wheat field near my house, a flying field right near a wheat field. I could not find that. I looked for hours and hours, somebody brought over a drone, and the guy flying the drone said, you know, I can see like an outline of where an airplane might have hit, but I don't seem to see an airplane. So we went over there, and apparently it disintegrated the entire airplane. I found the wheels, and I found part of the motor that was metal, but I find no, it was made out of balsa, this one. Found no wood, no nothing. It just blew up, and the airplane must have started on fire so quickly that it didn't start the wheat mill on fire. It was kind of a grain field at the time. But that's how severe the explosion of those batteries were.
Oh yeah, I believe it. My brother does drag racing RC, and those ones that they go up to 100 miles an hour, and when they crash, it literally, the battery will explode, and the carbon fiber chassis will melt in half.
They're crazy. Years ago, I had a friend flying there at grade school that had a kind of a dome on top, for the hallway that let in light. I guess it was a kind of a poly dome of some kind. It wasn't glass. Big, huge dome. And he crashed his airplane into that dome. And it was in the wet season in the spring. And he couldn't really quite see what had happened. And it was later in the day, so the school was closed. Tried to contact the janitor in the school, but he couldn't get anybody. So he said, well, I'll wait and I'll go there the first thing in the morning and tell him and admit to it. And when he went there, they had a fire truck and a cleaning company. Apparently, it had exploded and melted most of the glass of the dome. And it rained and it flooded that entire school. And he didn't know whether to tiptoe through the tulips and get out of there or confess that he did it. I'm not going to tell you what he did. Because of the damage that thing caused. I mean, thousands and thousands of dollars worth of damage.
Yeah, that tracks. I wouldn't either.
Yeah, he did. The plane disintegrated pretty much, the same thing. So they didn't know who it was. Dear old Tiny Tim. I remember when he was on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Laughing. He was on Laughing, too.
Ed didn't like all his guests. He gave him a dirty look. He thought Tiny Tim was really something.
He was on Laughing, too.
Tiny Tim was?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. It was one of the little characters that would pop up and say something?
No, he'd come on and sing the Tiptoe Through the Tulips thing.
Wow. Somebody told me, I can't remember who it was, but it was somebody that worked with entertainers, and they said that to do what he did, he thought he was really a talented man, that he wasn't some kind of a half-wit.
Well, what's a half-wit? That's half of a whole wit?
I don't know. Why don't you ask Doug?
I don't know what a half-wit is. What's a whole wit?
Now, what about that one, Doug?
Half of a whole wit? Yeah, that's probably right. Well, a half-wit is half of a whole wit, right?
We first have to decide and define what a wit is first. What is a wit? Well, that's a good question. A half-wit. Matt, you're a smart guy. What are they referring to when they say you're a half of a wit? What the heck is a wit?
I don't even know the exact definition, but I know colloquial what it means.
What does it mean? Well, it means you're half there, right?
You're an idiot, yeah.
Hey, Mikey, see if you can Google wit, half-wit. See what that means. Wait and see if he finds something. Well, we knew that. Ask her what about a half-wit. What is a wit? What's the definition of a wit?
Well, if you had two half-wits, it'd be a whole wit.
Well, ask her what a wit is.
If you have two halves and you have one half width, what's the full width?
Now, what's the full width?
Uh-oh. She doesn't know. She doesn't know. She's just thinking. Oh, wait, here we go.
According to Quora, yes, two halves make one whole that is equal to one whole. This is because a whole can be divided into two equal halves, and each half represents one half of the whole.
You know, she's acting like a half-wit. That half-wit, she doesn't know. Hey, Doug, that biddy's acting like a half-wit right now.
I think when somebody is witty, it means they're pretty smart. You know, like they're snappy, you know, and can think of things really quick.
Yeah, when you say you're witty, so a wit must be maybe something smart, a wit. And a half-wit means you're a half-smart person, I guess. Or a half-wit. Okay. That might be it, man. Seriously.
The ability to say or write things that are clever and typically funny.
Oh, so it means to be intelligent humor. Oh, well, we're a bunch of wits then.
You think maybe you're a three-quarter wit? Or a full wit?
Well, a wit is a form of intelligent humor. The ability to say or write things that are clever or typically funny. Someone witty is a person who is skilled at making a clever or funny remark. That's you, Dave. Forms of a wit include the grip, repartee, or the wisecrack.
Well, is there anything, are there three-quarter wits, or nine-tenths wits, or, one-third wits, or are there just full wits and half-wits?
See, I'm a quarter wit.
I think
You're a
that's
quarter
up
wit?
to a personal opinion. Everybody has one, right?
They do, and some of them, even a half-wit has a personal opinion.
Is that kind of like us too? Us and you and me?
Yeah, when you point a finger at somebody, you're pointing the other three at you.
Maybe their fingers are dirty.
What's wrong with dirty fingers? I didn't know they had dirty fingers occasionally. You know what? If you're not having, kinky sex, you don't have to have clean hands.
Doesn't seem very witty, does it?
I mean, I always had clean hands if I ever, got kinky, but otherwise I can have the little dirt under my fingernails. That's okay. What do you think, Doug?
Yeah, I think that's a good philosophy to have there, Dave.
Yeah, if you're going to be kinky, make sure you wash your hands, right?
Yeah, that sounds good.
And if you're going to be just kind of normal, working out in the garden, you're going to have dirty hands.
Well, of course.
And there's nothing wrong with having dirty hands.
Well, of course not. You gotta wear gloves, or otherwise you're a half-wit.
You're a half-wit, you get your hands dirty because you didn't have gloves on?
There you go.
Isn't that an opinion?
Well, everybody has one.
Everybody has a half-wit in the family?
Maybe some people have quarter wit.
Well, I think, no, my mother didn't do that. She did have, I think we have another brother out there somewhere. I have one brother, but there's rumors there's one, because when he was born, the doctor said, I only see a half a wit here, and my mother said, I don't want a half wit, get rid of him. That's a true story. I shouldn't be talking that way, but that is a true story. Can you blame her? Don't you want a fresh baby when you have a baby going through all that pain of labor and everything? And it pops out and it's a half-wit. I think I'd be looking for a gunny sack myself.
Well, it might only be a 16th of a half-wit.
Then just get a smaller gunny sack. I'd be looking for a gunny sack if I was a woman and a half-wit popped out. A gunny sack and down by the river. Take it down by the river.
I think we have a breaker.
We do?
Breakers are usually
Well, I think Matt, go ahead and, I didn't hear anything. Go ahead, Matt, do the honors.
Well, I think I heard somebody in there. Go ahead.
Don't start calling animals half-wits. That's not right. I guess we don't have a refrigerator. It's funny, you go to the movie, and it's a violent movie, and, all the people get killed, and they get knives, and machetes cutting their heads off, and pinching their fingers off, and all nasty, horrible things. And if anything happens to a dog in that movie, everybody leaves in fear and calls the Humane Society on the proprietors of the movie company there. Oh, I love dead air. I just love it. That's why I come up with bullshit.
Oh, what's going on, Dave?
Hey, who's that?
KG7HCR on the vintage ft102.
Oh, you're on a vintage 102. Hey, yaesu there. Very, very good. How are you today?
I'm tired. I went to the junkyard today. I found some really nice wheels and tires for the Tahoe, and had to lug those out of there. And then we spent most of the evening. I tried to slave the kids out into cleaning them. They were like really, really dirty on the inside of the rims. So that's what I did today.
Very good. Get a good deal on them?
Yeah, $200 for a set of matching rims with tires that are probably, I would say they look like they were like 80%, maybe a little bit better. They're, let's see, they're probably close to 150 a tire if you buy them new now.
Well, good show. I like to go to, I check out not just junkyards, but I check out all the, like Goodwill and Salvation Armies, and that's a kind of a habit and a hobby of mine. I love to do that. I found some pretty good things there.
I had to stop doing that because I've got so many, weird stereos and speakers and stuff. I had to stop doing that, and I've been giving stuff away just because I'm drowning in my own crap over here. But believe it or not, I found a grill for an F250 at the Goodwill for like $5, so it actually fit my truck, so I bought it.
So you're familiar with some of the vintage radio equipment, aren't you?
Yeah. That's mostly what I have. I do have a brand new yaesu 710, but I prefer the old stuff.
Now, do you know what a Hammerland Super Pro ST600 is?
I do not. I don't know about any of that stuff from that particular era. Late 60s on up is kind of what I know about.
Well, that particular receiver, which came from the 40s, was among the A-Hammers, was, like the Cadillac of an old receiver. Everybody wanted one, and you could get $1,500 out of them. I found one at, it was called Deseret Industries. It's kind of when I was in Utah, kind of a Mormon-run discount store. They even have one in Seattle, and I think one in some other town here in Washington. But I found one in there in almost pristine condition and gave $5 for it.
Wow, I have been to the one on Aurora Avenue in Seattle. Yeah, I think isn't that next to Burger King or something and grocery outlet?
Desert Industry. They're laid out pretty well, aren't they? They keep everything really neat and nice in there, don't they?
Yeah. That was it's right on Aurora Avenue. I just can't remember what it was. I think it's actually technically in like Shoreline or Edmonds.
Well, I'm actually from Utah, but we did drive up to one of the Desert Industries in Seattle. You know what I wanted for my birthday? I said I want to go to Seattle and Tacoma and go through all the discount stores. I'm serious, and that's what I did on my birthday. Boy, everybody was just thrilled taking me into watching me shop in the discount stores.
When we lived in Everett, I would go to the Everett Goodwill. I'd go to the Linwood Goodwill. I'd go to the Shoreline Goodwill, and then I would every once in a while I'd even go out to the Goodwill. What do they call that? The The outlet center in Seattle, that one's kind of crappy, but the Goodwill Outlet Center in Everett over by Boeing, I have just like, I'm still getting rid of stuff that I bought there back in like 2016.
That outlet center you talk about, is that the one that's got all these great big bins? And you see people all lined up going to the bins to see if they can find a part. It was really a weird setup the way they had everything. Kind of a messy looking mess with all these big bins and crap filled in them.
Yep, that's how it is, and everything was by the pound. But if you found like a really cool stereo and you went up to them and said, "Hey, I want this, but it's really heavy," they would give it to you for like almost nothing.
Yeah, and a lot of people are just looking for old clothes and things. Yeah, that was the strangest place. I only went in there and didn't have no desire to go back into those stores, you know.
The problem with that one, Dave, is you got to sit in there all day, and they rotate the bins in and out, in and out, in and out. But when there's a fresh bunch of bins, there could be all kinds of cool stuff in there. I found, ham radio equipment. I found a couple of CB amplifiers. I found a Johnson, with the Johnson. It's like a 23 channel CB radio. I found one of those out there. Just tons of weird stuff. I found a Drake antenna tuner.
Wow, you found some really cool stuff. I didn't realize the procedure. I just went in there and I said, "Man, what's going on here?"
Yeah, if you just would casually walk in there, it just looks like a bunch of junk. There's people that hang out there all day long and they make their living doing that and selling stuff on eBay. And there's also the people that find all kinds of crazy stuff, like diamond rings and all sorts of craziness.
I don't want to keep it. We'll keep it rotating around here. Welcome in and stick around, and we'll talk back and forth here. Continue. But the one comment: the Goodwill store in Aberdeen, they have raised their prices ridiculously high. I mean, really stupid. They'll have for example, they might have 3 or 4 screwdrivers that you can get at the dollar store for $1 for a whole pack of dollar store screwdrivers, and they'll put $10 on that same pack of dollar screwdrivers. I don't know what they're doing, but I don't even like to go in there anymore because the price is just so high on everything.
They've done the same thing here, Dave. That's why I quit going. I'll be back in a little bit. I got to run to Walmart before they close. It's just like 5 minutes down the road, but they close here at 11, so I got to run over there really quick. And if you guys are still on here, I'd be happy to join you. KG7H3R.
Okay, well, take care. We'll see you later. Anybody else out there like the second-hand stores? Much or not really? What about you, Matt? You like second-hand stores and stuff?
Not really. I tend to shop for everything online.
I think the younger generation, my kids, well, they're not young, but they're a little more your age. They can't stand this. They will not buy anything in there.
It's not that I won't. I don't get out very often.
I've gotten some pretty good clothes in there. I've gotten some of those, Italian leather shoes that cost $400 or $500 for $12. I mean, they do have some good buys in there sometimes. Although, like I said, they're raising their prices so high, I don't go in there much anymore. Doug came out to visit me a while ago, and we went to a thrift store in Aberdeen, and Doug found a pretty nice piano there, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
And you know what Doug did? It's an old, probably late 1800s, early 1900s piano, and made out of that quarter sawn oak, which is really neat stuff. And it had the little logo of the piano company. They have a little special logo, as they all do. And if you opened it up, they had that logo in there. But I wanted one right on the front panel of the piano. And Doug, I had me take a picture of that, and he went to his laser printer, 3D printer, laser printer, and he made the program up of that picture I took. Took him a long time and did all his detail work on it, and made me a label which he engraved on a piece of, I can't remember, a panel wood or something. They call it Doug, I'll tell you.
Basswood.
Cut it out so perfectly, and then he finally sent it to me. It took a long time to do it, and I stained it just a little bit, and affixed it to the piano, and boy, does that look good.